They had it all: fame, talent, and the world at their feet. Teen idols adored by millions, lighting up red carpets and living rooms alike. But behind the flashbulbs and fan mail, some carried silent battles.
I was huffing because I'm a drug addict. I'm a drug addict in recovery. You might not look at me smoking weed as being sober, but I do.
One moment, they were rising stars. The next, headlines, vigils, unanswered questions.
Yeah, the reason why I'm here, because I know how it feels to be sick. Because in February, I was very sick and I almost died.
They were young, they were gifted, and they were gone. This is teen stars who died in the most tragic ways. Anissa Jones defined child Hollywood fame as Buffy on Family Affair, with her big eyes and signature pigtails. Overnight, she became every viewer's little sister.
Jody!
But when her career stalled, the sparkle faded fast. The series ended, her parents split, and Hollywood stopped calling. Anissa's teenage years were spent drifting, lost in the shadow of her early stardom and the instability at home. Trying to return to a normal life was nearly impossible. She struggled with school, bounced between parents, and quietly slipped out of the limelight. Attempts to rekindle her career failed, and new roles never came. By age 18, Anissa was coping with pressure, loss, and the ache of an industry that had moved on. Her life ended in a friend's bedroom, the result of a massive drug overdose. There was no headline comeback, just quiet tragedy, a talent and a life cut short by the burdens placed on her. Rest in peace. Before child stardom became industrialized, Tommy Rettig was already a household name. In the 1950s, millions of viewers tuned in weekly to watch him as Jeff Miller, the first boy to star alongside Lassie, America's favorite dog. But fame came early, and it didn't last. Rettig also acted in major films with legends like Marilyn Monroe, James Stewart, and Natalie Wood. But he left Hollywood while still young, disillusioned with the business that made him famous. Instead, he pivoted. In the 1980s, long before tech was cool, Tommy became a computer software developer and programmer. He also became a passionate advocate for marijuana legalization, decades ahead of public opinion. In a 1983 interview, he told the LA Times, "The use of drugs has been made synonymous with the abuse of drugs. Prohibition never worked. Education is the answer." In later years, he kept a low profile. Then in 1996, at just 54 years old, Rettig died at his home. He left behind 2 sons and a quiet legacy that stretched from black and white television to Silicon Valley's early days. Heather O'Rourke was a child actor many remembered as Carol Ann from Poltergeist, the little girl who famously whispered,
"They're here."
Her life felt like it belonged in film, full of promise, visibility, wonder, until it wasn't. Born with a hidden vulnerability, she seemed otherwise healthy.
Yeah, the reason why I'm here, because I know how it feels to be sick. Because in February, I was very sick and I almost died.
On January 31st, 1988, while filming Poltergeist 3, Heather came down with what appeared to be flu symptoms. The next day, however, things escalated. Her extremities turned blue, she collapsed, and her parents were told she had suffered cardiac arrest. She was rushed to hospital. Surgeons performed an operation, believing she had a bowel obstruction, but it was too late. She died that afternoon just after her 12th birthday. The autopsy revealed something heartbreaking. Heather had been born with intestinal stenosis, a birth defect that narrows parts of the intestine and can severely impair digestion. It's a condition that could have been treated surgically, if only the earlier signs hadn't been misdiagnosed as Crohn's disease, and if X-rays had been read differently. Her death certificate listed acute bowel obstruction, suspected septic shock, and cardiorespiratory arrest. In the wake of her passing, her mother filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the hospital and medical group. The case was later settled out of court. Heather wasn't just a face on a screen. She was a child caught between misdiagnoses and missed opportunities.
Hi, I'm Ma and I play Frogsport. Here I have IMUFs.
Maya-Alicia Naylor was a spark on CBBC, funny, clever, and instantly likable in shows like Millie in Between and Almost Never. She was poised for bigger things, and everyone around her could see it. But off-screen, she navigated pressure like any teen. Exams, friendships, growing pains, and occasional heartbreak. One April morning in 2019, Maya-Alicia collapsed at home and was rushed to the hospital. She died soon after, only 16. Authorities determined her death was accidental, a brief act in a stressful moment that was never meant to be final. Her family spoke of school stress and the little things, like missing her phone, that can feel huge when you're young. Maya-Alicia's passing stunned her colleagues and viewers. She had been cast in new roles with a future full of promise. Her story is all too familiar. Outward brightness hiding personal storms, talent halted before it could fully unfold. From a young age, Judith Barcy had that rare spark, a presence that lit up every screen she was on. By age 10, she had already appeared in dozens of commercials and hit shows like Cheers and St. Elsewhere. Her voice gave life to animated classics like The Land Before Time and All Dogs Go to Heaven, both released after her death. But one of her most haunting roles was in the miniseries Fatal Vision, where she played Kimberly McDonald, a young girl murdered by her father. That fictional role would become a chilling foreshadowing of Judith's own fate. At home, she lived in fear. Her father, Joseph Barcy, was increasingly violent and controlling. Despite her mother, Maria, reporting the abuse, authorities failed to take serious action. Judith began showing signs of deep psychological trauma, pulling out her eyelashes, crying hysterically. But still, nothing changed. Then on July 25, 1988, Joseph shot both Maria and Judith in their home, doused them in gasoline, and set the house on fire before taking his own life. Judith wasn't just a child star. She was a child failed by the very systems meant to protect her. Liam Payne burst onto the scene in 2010 as a member of One Direction, one of the biggest boy bands the world had ever seen. But behind the screaming fans and global fame, he carried weight few outside could see. He grew up in Wolverhampton in a working-class family, often sickly as a child, even resuscitated at birth. From schoolyard bullying to being teased as an X Factor reject, he felt exposed early, and fame didn't shield him. It amplified everything. After One Direction became global, the long hours, constant touring, endless promotion, and scrutiny took their toll. He admitted the loneliness was staggering. Moments when he barely recognized himself, when being in a room full of people still felt isolating. To cope, Liam turned to alcohol and substances, concessions to the pressure, the relentless pace, the expectations. He tried to balance fatherhood after the birth of his son Bear, but admitting being a young dad wasn't easy. Relationships came with upheaval. His engagement with Maya Henry ended amid tension. A tell-all book, accusations, and legal wrangles followed. As the years wore on, he openly discussed anxiety, panic, even agoraphobia. Small tasks like filling up gas, stepping outside, these became moments to dread. Then, in a tragedy that shocked fans, Liam died at age 31 after falling from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires.
Well, we've got a guest who has had too many drugs and alcohol. And well, when he is conscious, he is trashing the entire room, and we need you to send someone, please. He's in a room with a balcony, and well, we're a little afraid that he'll do something that puts his life at risk.
Reports and a partial autopsy revealed a mix of drugs and alcohol in his system, 25 separate injuries, head trauma from the fall. Liam Payne was more than a pop star. He was someone whose struggle became part of his story, someone who tried to outrun fame and pain and in the end couldn't. Not every child star comes from Hollywood. In 1982, Samantha Smith, just 10 years old, became internationally known not for acting or singing, but for something much more powerful: asking a question. At the height of the Cold War, when nuclear tensions between the US and the Soviet Union were reaching a boiling point, Samantha wrote a letter to Soviet leader Yuri Andropov. In it, she simply asked, "Why do you want to go to war with us?" To nearly everyone's shock, Andropov replied and invited her to visit the USSR. She did, and suddenly, this fifth grader from Maine became a symbol of peace and reason in a deeply divided world. Her appearance on talk shows, at rallies, and later as a goodwill ambassador for the United Nations made her a global figure. In 1985, she even took on a role in the TV drama Lime Street. But just months later, that promising voice was silenced. On August 25, 1985, Samantha and her father were flying home to Maine when their small commuter plane crashed during its descent. Investigators later pointed to a tragic mix of pilot error, heavy rain, and mechanical issues. Samantha Smith was 13, and she had already done more to change the world than most people do in a lifetime. Aaron Carter first captured hearts as a child star in the late 1990s. Youthful, energetic, a pop phenom with hits like Aaron's Party, Come Get It.
People all around, you got to. Everyone together, sing it loud.
But fame came with struggles nobody could see when the lights were bright. Over the years, Aaron openly battled mental health challenges and substance abuse. He had highs and lows, check-ins to rehab, broken relationships, and the weight of being in public from such a young age.
I was huffing because I'm a drug addict. I'm a drug addict in recovery. You might not look at me smoking weed as being sober, but I do.
On November 5th, 2022, at age 34, Aaron was found unresponsive, submerged in his bathtub in his home in Lancaster, California. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner later ruled his death accidental drowning, with contributing factors including alprazolam, a kind of prescription anti-anxiety medication, and difluoroethane, a gas used in canned air sprays that can produce euphoria when inhaled. Authorities noted he was incapacitated in the tub, under the influence of those substances, and slipped under the water. In the wake of his death, family members raised questions about the circumstances. His ex-fiancée and mother both expressed doubts about how some findings were determined, for instance, whether there was water in his lungs, and filed a wrongful death lawsuit concerning his medical care and prescription meds. Aaron Carter was more than the pop star persona. He was a person trying to fight demons, sometimes visibly, often privately. His death was sudden, tragic, and left many asking how things could have been different. Their names once lit up marquees and magazine covers. Now they live on in memory, frozen in time at the height of their youth. Each story is a haunting reminder of how fragile life can be, even for those who seem untouchable. Which of these young stars shocked you the most? And are there others you feel the world has forgotten? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to help keep their memories alive, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. More stories like this are just a click away. Thank you for watching.